We all do it. You finish a movie or buy a product, swipe down the screen and tap 5 stars, or 1. It takes 2 seconds and requires 0 actual thought. But stop swiping for a moment and try to write out your reasoning. Drafting a structured, analytical review is a rigorous cognitive workout. Look at Jackson Pollock creating a drip painting. To a beginner, abstract art can look like a chaotic mess. A high-value review acts as a ladder. It gives a newcomer the exact context they need to climb up and actually appreciate a difficult piece of work. Pull up a blank text box right now. Pick a book you recently finished, a gadget you bought, or a movie you watched. We are going to build a real review for it together. Mastering this framework for a simple product is the first step in learning how to summarize external information and synthesize it with your own observations, a skill rarely taught in traditional schooling. Step 1 is defining your stance. This must be the very first sentence of your critique. Writing like a towering, objective expert usually backfires. Readers trust honesty, and admitting your personal bias or your beginner status builds immediate credibility. Instead of a generic review decreeing that a restaurant is the best, the green text reads, "I usually only eat at cheap conveyor-belt sushi places, so this high-end restaurant felt intimidating." You are giving the reader your specific background. With your stance set, we move to the body of the review. This is governed by the 80-20 rule. 80% of your review must be a dry, factual summary of the product. The remaining 20% is reserved for your personal opinion or color. Think of your review as a black box. The reader needs to see the raw, objective facts enter the box before they can trust the subjective opinion that comes out of it. Without that factual input, your output has no weight. Grounding your opinion in a stated bias and objective facts keeps your writing disciplined. It prevents your review from drifting into abstract, meaningless complaints. Next, apply the limited scope rule. Do not attempt to evaluate every single aspect of the product. Extract exactly one specific element to focus on. Review a single chapter of a book, the wardrobe in a specific scene of a movie, or one unique feature on a piece of hardware. Focusing your scope helps you avoid the troll trap. Bashing a product with a barrage of general negativity is an intellectually lazy reflex that stops you from actually thinking. Discovering a specific detail to respect requires active observation. Look at Hayao Miyazaki in his studio. Animating a character in a long skirt requires immense unseen effort. A good reviewer spots that specific choice and explains why it works. Now we lock down the economic aspect of your review. You need to prove you have skin in the game. This scale shows the 2 resources you spend, money and time. Explicitly state the $15 you paid or the 10 hours it took to read the book. Writing, "I wouldn't pay $30 for this, but for $5 the quality is acceptable," transforms an emotional reaction into credible consumer intelligence. Limiting your scope and quantifying the exact cost forces you to make calculated, defensible judgments. Every review needs one final piece of content, hand-holding guidance. Write one specific, actionable tip designed solely to improve the experience for the next person who buys this. Tell them to listen to track 3 first, or warn them to skip the first 50 pages because the introduction is slow. Socrates represents a tradition of contributing structured thought to the public. By offering genuine guidance, you elevate yourself from a passive consumer to an active contributor to the public conversation. Review your completed text. You have built a structured argument that uses a defined bias and factual evidence to support a specific judgment. Hit the publish button with confidence. Finalize the commitment to the unique perspective you have just built. Applying this framework to the next 5 things you consume trains your brain to look for specific details and defend your reactions. It builds the habit of turning your raw consumption into an articulated perspective.